Welcome to Worthy and Unapologetic. This podcast is dedicated to women over 40 who are ready to step into their power and prioritize their well being. I'm Sonaya Williams, your host and fellow traveler on this incredible journey of reinvention. Whether you're on your way to work, out for a walk, or simply taking a moment to yourself, you're in the right place. If you're navigating a career change, building a dream business, or prioritizing yourself like never before, this is where you belong. Let's get started. All right, so today I am very excited to welcome Shayla Boyd-Gill, the creator of Lux Sales System. Shayla is a brilliant business and sales strategist who empowers women entrepreneurs to elevate their businesses. After years of working behind the scenes for top industry leaders and mastering high ticket sales, Shayla is focusing on her business now. She created the Lux Sales System, which helped her achieve remarkable success, including 183,000 a month in sales. Shayla's approach is all about clarity, knowing what to do, who you do it for, and why you do it. Now, Shayla balances her coaching business with quality family time, homeschooling her children, and enjoying life. And I should add a little bit of travel in there because every time I talk to Shayla, she's on the road going somewhere. But she's passionate about helping women simplify their businesses, make significant money, and love what they do. Did I miss anything, Shayla?
Oh my God, who are we talking about? It's,
I
it's me.
know.
I love it.
Yes.
Yes.
all
No, you
all the
you got it.
fabulous luxury things, and when
Yeah,
I see them I think about Shayla.
love it. Love it. Because we get to create what luxury means to ourselves, right?
Exactly, we do.
Yeah.
So I like to start these conversations out with some rapid fire questions. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Coffee or tea in the morning?
Coffee, absolutely. Let's move on. Nope, it's coffee.
No, no question about it, just give me
No.
give me a cup of coffee.
Yes.
Team sunrise or team midnight?
Team sunrise. I can't hang.
No. What time do you go to
No.
bed?
Oh, if I could go to bed at 8 o'clock, it would be. But most nights it's 9 o'clock.
Oh, same. I'm
Yeah.
like, you were not gonna find me by 9:30. Mm-mm.
No.
What's one item you can't leave the house without?
Ooh, that's a good one, Sanaya. It's gonna age me so bad, which is terrible. But if I'm running errands locally, it's my fanny pack.
You gotta have your hands free. Yes.
Yes, I don't want to carry a big bag. I just want to run in and run out. So that's it.
I hear you. I can relate. What's your go-to comfort food?
Ooh. Oh, this is a good one, Sanaya, because it shifts so much. But it almost, it's not a food, it's my coffee. My
Yeah.
comfort is
Oh
my
yeah.
coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Coffee
do you
flavored
have more than
ice
one
cream.
yeah.
Coffee flavored ice cream. There we go.
Oh. Okay.
Coffee with chocolate chunks in it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Yes. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. If there were one hobby you wish you had time for, is there one hobby you wish you had time for?
Piano.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I played it as a kid, and it's one of those. Dang, I really shouldn't have let that go.
Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that
Yeah.
about you. If you could teleport any place right now, where would that be?
Aruba.
I should have guessed.
Come on, Sanaya. Take me back to the beach.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Yes. All right. So I've known Shayla, geez, 2012, 2011, 2012. Like when I started my business in 2011, and we met at a conference right around there. Something, it was either
It was
2011
12 or
or
13. It was 12 or
yeah,
13. Yes.
somewhere there. So it's been a long time.
Oh
We've
my
been
gosh, it had.
we've been accountability partners. We've literally done a lot for over the years. I've seen Shayla reinvent herself, reinvent her business because back then you were in a totally different business.
Yeah.
Totally different. So a lot of what I like to talk about here at Success Has No Deadline, what we're doing is reinvention. This
Yes.
first season is all about how women reinvent their life. And then as women over 40 who put ourselves last, it's like we feel like it's not possible. I can't reinvent myself anymore. I have to just do what I've been doing all this time because why, like, there's no time for me to do anything else. The
Right. I
kids and
put too much time into it. I can't possibly change.
exactly, exactly. So, first off, how do you define success?
Joy, joy, and peace of mind.
Hmm.
The
What does
peace
that
of
look
mind
like?
part. The peace of mind part is big. So success for me is anything that I'm doing is not cause. It's not causing me stress. I
Yes.
have peace of mind. I'm fulfilled. It's not even the dollar amount. Am I
Mm,
fulfilled? Can I go to sleep at night and have a solid rest and not worry? That's
yeah.
success for me. If I'm in a place of business or doing other things in life and I can't rest because I'm worrying constantly, I'm not happy with the work that I'm doing, that's not success.
No,
And I don't know if
not
it's
at all.
worth success.
Exactly. Not at all. And then, like, just the statement you said about not having to worry. So you're not having to worry about, are my kids safe? Do I
Right.
have enough money to pay for the bills? Um, like, not like we worry about what tomorrow holds, but it's like, you're gonna get up and that you're safe. Everybody's safe, right?
We're
You
solid.
get to make
Yeah.
decisions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can choose to do something or choose not to, but it's not based on, oh my goodness, do I have it? It's,
Hmm.
I'm secure.
Exactly. Exactly. So throughout your journey, you've had several different careers.
Correct. How many?
Reinvention is called reinvention. So from what I know, you were in corporate and then you went
Yes.
from corporate to a doula business and
Yes.
from the doula business to your coaching business now,
Correct. Correct.
right? So one of the things I know about you is financial freedom, right? That's what you've helped your clients do. And I guess that's also a version of success because although we'll say money doesn't equal success, but having that freedom can bring you success because you get that peace of mind.
You need money so you can have choices. Yes.
Very simple.
Simple
Exactly.
as
You
that.
do.
You need
You
money so you can
do.
have choices so that you can be secure. Yes. It's necessary. It's not the singular thing, but it's
Mhm.
necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like money and time are those currencies. Like time, obviously, you never can get back, but money also gives you time because you can
Money
hire
gives you
people to help
time.
you do things.
Thank you. That part, yes. So to your statement, from knowing me, it's been around financial freedom, and that's something that I had to learn, and
Mm,
I had to understand the difference of what financial freedom was. It's one thing just to have some money; it's another thing to be able to use your money in wiser ways or wiser manners, and to be able to grow with your money versus running out of money.
oh,
And
yeah.
I truly had the habit of running out of money. And it
Mm,
took years and experiences to figure out, okay, you know what? It's time to get off the train because
yes.
that knowledge, I didn't have what I needed
Hmm.
to in I just wish it was taught more in schools to understand how to understand your own finances as an adult and make smarter decisions.
Yes.
I'm a all in girl, and I'm like, yes, I'm jumping into this thing. I'm going to do this thing. I'm like, you can't afford to do that right now. Stop
Yeah.
it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pump the
Yeah.
brakes, girl. Pump the brakes.
Yeah. I feel like I've definitely have been on that train because it's been like, some months are really, really good. And then other months you're like, what am I going to do? How am I going to make ends meet? I was saying to somebody earlier today, I was like, I had one of the oh shit moments I had before was I'm working just to pay people. My
Yeah,
expenses are so high and I'm not paying myself enough. And when I came to that realization, I was just like, okay, this is not freedom for me. This is not success for me. Something has to change.
This is a job. This is
Yes.
a, and the luxury, let's be honest, the luxury of having a 9 to 5 is you know what you're going to, you can budget, you know what you're going to have every 2 weeks or month, however your pay cycle is. What we think is the luxury of entrepreneurship or being a business owner is, oh, I can make as much money as I can,
Yeah.
but it can be unpredictable
Oh yes.
until you're stable.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not the same. And that's the harsh reality that a lot of people face, especially if you're coming from corporate.
Mm-hmm.
You have that, you're used to a lifestyle, and now you have to shift your lifestyle until you catch up.
Oh
And that
yeah.
can be really harsh for people.
Yeah, it's hard for people to accept that. Um, I forget the saying, but it's like you spend a couple years doing things that most people won't to spend the rest of your life living like most people can. Something like
Yeah,
that's the saying. But when you get into entrepreneurship, it is hard. It's hard work because you're
it's
wearing
different.
all the
All
hats,
the
but
hats. Yeah.
it is worth it in the end.
If you have the that longevity, if you have the momentum,
Yes.
if you have the discernment and people to support you on your journey, it can be beautiful.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's there's no instant gratification in it.
Oh gosh, no. Mm-mm. That's a
There's
lie.
that does not exist. So if you're used to the instant gratification, if you're used to your boss telling you good job, there's no one fueling that. Your ego is not being
Mm.
fueled at all.
Nope.
Like you said, many hats, you are all of the hats.
You have to cheer
and
yourself
you
on too.
and you have to decide, am I willing to wear all of these hats temporarily?
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people never get out of that state of wearing all the hats, so that's the problem.
That is a big problem. So,
Yeah.
can you share one pivotal moment in your career that helped you realize that financial freedom was like the thing you were after?
I can. 2010, I filed for bankruptcy, and I've been telling this story literally for 14 years, but if you're almost $100,000 in debt and you make $100,000, you don't have any money left.
Mm.
That's just reality. Once I filed for bankruptcy, definitely dealt with a lot of guilt, shame. I'm like, I never want to be here again. That was my story. Please don't ever let me go back to this path again. But I needed to learn how to do it differently. And so that's where I was in the coaching, or getting ready to go into the coaching business a few years after that. And I said, if we're going to do business this time, let's figure out how to do it in a smart manner. And I just
Yeah.
started studying and surrounding myself with people that understood money. I started studying financial books. I went through, with me, I went through Profit First. I was like, how can we do
Yeah.
business differently? How can we do money? Everything that I did in business, the back in question was, how can I do this better?
Yeah.
How can I make the money last longer? How can I make better decisions with the money? Now, there were some ups and downs, but I remember getting to the point where I met with a familiar person that we have, and they came to town and we met at a hotel that was beside the courthouse that I had to go to file bankruptcy. And sitting outside of that hotel, I had this
Yeah.
major emotional just breakdown. But in my mind, I was like, I am finally free
Oh.
of the financial chaos. It was years later, maybe 5 years post bankruptcy, but I woke up that morning and I didn't have to worry about, is this bill going to be late? Are we going to get this pink notice?
Yeah.
And are we going to have this problem? Am I going to be able to pay this bill? I woke up, I'm like, I actually slept last night. I'm here meeting with a mentor or coach,
Yeah.
and I'm figuring out my life. This is financial freedom. Oh,
Mm.
that was the moment
Mm-hmm.
I said, we've turned the corner,
Yeah. That's
because
that.
I
That's
hadn't
like
acknowledged it.
yes. That's what I was gonna say. It's like it's a moment where you have to check the box and say, yes, this actually did happen and this is where I am, and you have to celebrate where you've come from, because I find
That
a
part.
lot of times what we do as women, we don't celebrate the things that we've done.
No, never, because we're chasing the next thing.
Exactly.
And dare I celebrate? What are people going to think of me?
Exactly. Oh
Dare
no.
I
Yeah.
celebrate? Oh my God.
If we don't
But
celebrate
it's true.
ourselves, nobody else will celebrate us.
Remember, we have to feed our own ego. And it was that moment that, not only was I understanding financial freedom, but also forgiveness, because
Mm-hmm.
we're very hard on ourselves when we make mistakes, whether it's a huge mistake like that one or something small. We don't give ourselves the grace that we would give our children
Oh no.
or even our clients. And so it was like that breakdown was, it was joy, it was peace of mind, it was happiness, it was letting go. It was literally letting go of
Mm.
everything that I was holding. And that was my moment.
Wow. Yeah. That's like a
Yeah. It
breathing
was
in,
like
breathing
close the
in one
book to
time. I'm
that
ready for what's
chapter.
next.
Right.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. How do you deal with guilt and the pressures of life today?
I'm not guilty. No, but guilt, those moments happen. I would say for me, like the pressure with being a mom of six, when I have to travel and people will question me, oh, how did you get to leave all those kids at home? Or what does your husband think of that? And I'm like, am I supposed to be feeling bad right now? And then I have that half a second of, should I be home with my kids? But then I realize, always go back to why you're doing what you do. And if I'm solid on why I do what I do, and I'm solid with the agreement in my relationship,
Yeah.
I'm able to release that guilt. And what I
Yeah.
do understand when it comes to guilt, you can feel bad about something, but you also have to remove and move on to the next step of it. So I think as parents, I would say, just like in business, as parents, we've all made mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're sitting in, I'm the worst parent ever because I cooked my child's dinner late tonight, we can't sit there forever, right? We can't. At
No.
a certain point, did the child eat or not? Yes, the child ate. Okay, let's go on.
That would be a long struggle because, ooh, the amount of times I made dinner late. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I'm like, they're not starving. Trust me, they're okay.
I'm sure they didn't even notice.
No, they were like, oh, Lily, we're up late. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. How did you, I should say, how did you get so clear in your why?
Well, I had six people surrounding me like little birds with their mouths open. So that was one thing.
They
But
did.
my why was, I knew for a fact I didn't want to go back to work. I didn't want to go back to corporate. I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I made a radical decision to leave an industry
Yeah.
and a quote unquote good paying job. And I knew that whatever I did in this life, it needed to be bigger than that. Because while I was there, I understood that there was something more that I was supposed to do, and I didn't have the capacity to do it in that space. And
Mm-hmm.
so not only did I think of the six little people that I had, but also what I wanted my life to look like. Like, what's the memories I want to leave behind when people speak about me, or when my children speak about me, when the next generation speaks about me? What's the story I want them to tell? Those are my wives.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
And
can
that,
somebody in the family get some money, please? Can we have financial freedom? Like, can
yeah,
we
yeah,
change the story?
exactly. Yeah, because you want to change. I feel like for every parent, they want their kid's life to be better than the life that they had.
Of course. Hmm.
And it's like we work so hard to give our kids more than we had, but we also need to take time to enjoy what we have as well. So I feel like my mom's generation, they work so hard to give to the next generation that they've just forgotten like about themselves
Yeah,
or to do for themselves.
they
And
we
I'm
watched
trying
them
so hard.
sacrifice. Mhm.
Exactly. I'm trying so hard that my kids get to see I'm doing for them and I'm doing for me as well.
So that's why when I'm away, that guilt is not going on because
There's no
it
guilt,
is
yeah.
it's for all. Like I love to tell my husband and my kids when they're like, "Oh, you're going to this thing again." Yes, I'm doing this so that my
Mhm.
statement is so that we will be able to do these things in the future, or when I come back I'm going to be a better version of myself. But if
Exactly.
I'm burned out and exhausted and looking at them cross-eyed, they're going to look at me and say, "Please leave the house. Go get some rest, mom.
Exactly.
You need sunshine somewhere else that's not here." I'm like, "Yeah, I agree,
Exactly.
guys. Thanks."
Yes, I'm gone. See you later. So how do you prioritize that self-care? What does that look like for you?
It's going to sleep early at night. I'm usually the first person in the house to go to sleep, even before my 10-year-old. I'm the one that's saying, "I'm checking out.
Yeah.
Figure the rest out with your dad." That's my rule. And waking up before everyone else in the home. So that
Mm,
provides me a space of tranquility. It's
mm,
quiet, and I get to just have a moment where I'm not hearing anything else. I can just be and
yeah.
focus on myself fully 100%. As you read, I homeschool them. So people are here all day long. That's my moment of don't bother me. If they wake up early, I'm like, do not walk this way. Go back to bed. This is not your moment. This is my moment. Along with that comes, I have my peace and then I have my coffee. It's a part of my morning routine before people do anything. I can function without coffee, but I feel like it's just a part of my
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
And, you know, making sure that I get away, making sure that I
Mm,
take time for myself unapologetically because it's necessary. That's part of my agreement with myself. You need to get away. It doesn't have to be big and fancy, but you need to get away. Do something. And I know when I've not honored my promises to myself to get away, it's not a good time. The family's like, "So where are you going? When do you
yeah.
leave?"
Go now. Let me drop
Mom,
you
don't
off.
you need to go somewhere?
Yeah. That's interesting. I feel when I was in Copenhagen, I used to do a weekend away once a quarter, and
Yeah.
it was really good. The girls were much smaller, so
Mhm.
I felt I not that I don't need it now, but I definitely felt when I needed it, and I was like, I'm going to plan this weekend in 2 weeks, and it's gonna happen. I haven't
Yes.
done it so much since we've been back here, but I've also gone away on girls trips, so I feel like
Okay.
I've just extended it like in weeks away instead of like a weekend every now and then. But I definitely like that's one thing I think women, moms in general, are afraid to do,
Mhm.
go away. I was talking to someone a couple of days ago and she has never been on a girls trip or she's never been on a trip by herself.
Oh, I know some people that way.
Yeah.
I know lots of women who don't know how to travel alone.
Yeah.
They don't feel comfortable or safe,
I
understandably.
get that.
But I'm
Yeah.
like, as you said, a girls' trip or even just an organized trip
Mhm.
without your family, that's a starting point.
Yeah.
I'm a good solo traveler. I'm like, give me a bag in a nice room. I can do solo. I am good.
Yeah.
I'm probably not
Definitely.
your girl that's going to be hanging out, doing all the things wherever I go. But sometimes for me, people don't understand. It's as simple as a quiet room,
Mhm.
a beautiful, quiet room with all the amenities. I am good. I am that
Yeah.
person that's like, I don't have to go anywhere, guys. Go on. I'm good. I'm minding my
Exactly.
business.
Exactly. Yes. Could you offer some advice to women listening that have a hard time, like struggling to find balance in their personal life and professional life, and maybe they're on the verge of burnout? Like, what would you say to someone?
Balance doesn't exist in our world the way that it is promoted, especially for women that have careers and family. So, what you have to decide is where you need to give more of your energy. And it varies depending on what's going on in your life and the time of your life. And
Mhm.
so, in some cases, if you're on the verge of burnout, then we are going to look at you. If it's my client, I'm going to say, okay, we see what's happening here, and we need to shift priorities. So maybe you're falling back a little bit on your business so that you can take care of yourself and spending more time in that area. But hopefully, if you have some things that are automated, your business is not going to crumble. It can still
Yeah.
function, but maybe it doesn't need as much of you right now. If you have a team, I'm going to say, let's transfer some of this to the team so that you can do less and take care of yourself. So then we need a team that we trust that's functional, but it's not half and half. It never works that way. And I think the hardest part is trying to accomplish that half and half goal. It's never accomplishable. And that's
Yeah.
where it will cause disappointment. And so if I'm in the zone of my life where I need more me time, let me take that time so that I can be a better version of a CEO
Hmm.
when I step
Hmm.
back up.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like balance, like 50-50 balance is not a thing. But like you said, there's certain times in your life where you have to give a little bit more to your family, or you have to give a little bit more to your business. Like right now, I've got to give a little bit more to the family because we're getting ready to move and all the fun things that have to happen before moving, and
Yeah,
let alone across the ocean. But I give more to my family now, where the business is now, operating as is. We're not on a big growth plan, growth spurt, and that has to be okay. And I'm okay with that. But there's no such
that's
thing
the
as
part.
50-50 balance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love that you said that you're okay with that, because we know we can create big goals and then we don't give ourselves the grace to be
Yes.
flexible or pivot on those goals. And so you're like head down, I gotta get to this, I gotta get to this. What if this isn't the time for you to get to it? No one wants to tell that story, that sometimes you may have to slow down and then you speed back up. That's the way life goes. And
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
such a kinder way to be a business owner. If you're always on go trying to hit this big goal every single time, you won't last.
No, you
Especially
definitely
if
will
it's
burn
just
out.
you or a few people, you're going to burn out everyone around you.
Oh, yes.
And we've
Yes.
seen it. We've
Oh,
seen
we
it.
have businesses closing down, people getting really, really sick. It's a real thing that I think people don't talk about enough. And I feel like people who come into the online business space or want to start a business, they look at where people are today and they're
That
like, I want
part.
that.
Hmm.
But they don't understand what it took to get there, nor do they want
Right.
to actually do all the things that it took to get there. They
That
just
part.
want the
Or
quick
nor
route
do
to
they
get
have
there.
the resources to
Exactly.
do all the things that some of them did to get there.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's the hard part, and it's a reality check because I have to check myself every year. I am an overachiever in my brain, so I will pick the craziest, biggest goals, and when reality sets in, I'm like, I need you to go back up. And the reality
Yeah.
version of my personality comes in and says, okay, let's
Yeah.
adjust this just a little bit. And then I'm like,
Hmm.
what am I doing? Why did I do that? I'm like, go sit down, overachiever. Let's get here.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
make sure you can sustain this thing, okay?
yeah. Exactly. You want it to be sustainable. You don't want to have something that's sustainable financially, but also your energy as well, because you
Yes.
still have a family to give some energy to.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's like you can't give 100% to one place and just forget about the other thing, because we've seen that
Yeah. They're like,
happen
you're pushing
as
it.
well. Exactly. See that happen as well. So yeah, it's yeah, crazy times.
It is.
Crazy times. So I want to dive into our oh shit moment.
Hmm. Which one?
And well, I'm going to tell you a particular one, which might relate to you as a mom of six.
Okay.
I was watching. My sister-in-law asked me to meet her at the mall to watch her son, so she can get some things done because they were getting ready to go on a trip. So I said fine. Being I feel like that's a whole nother oh shit moment because people think you work for yourself, you work from home, that you can just take time away to do everything else for everybody else. But
Mhm.
that's a whole nother story. So I have him. We go on one of the rides at the mall and he says, I'm hungry. So I said, okay, let's go walk to Burger King and get some chips or some French fries, as we call it in America. And we're walking, we get halfway there, and he just sits on the floor and crosses his arms and his legs and says, no. And I'm like, no, what? What are you talking about? No. You said you wanted some chips. Let's go get them. No. Well, my kids have never done this. So I'm like, what does this mean? What is
You're like,
happening? And I see the
pardon me?
ladies. Yeah. I'm like, I see the ladies in the store looking and laughing. And I'm like, and the other thing is, he's mixed. So he looks not like me.
Mhm.
And I don't
Mhm.
want people to be like, did she just take someone's kid and he's
Right.
defying and oh no. So I'm just looking at him. I'm like, it's time for you to get up and it's time for us to go find your mom. And
Right.
he's like, no.
Expeditiously.
Yeah, no. And I'm like, this is interesting. Like, I just totally didn't understand the concept because my kids never did that ever. But
Yeah.
in the end, I literally was like, okay, well, you can stay here. I'm gonna go find your mom because
Seriously.
I'm not
Yes.
fighting with you. Yeah, I'm not fighting with you. He's like looking at me, and then he gets up and he holds my hands and he said, "French fries," and I was like, no, no, you had your moment and it's
Right.
past.
And
Let's
you lost
go.
it, buddy.
You exactly. No, let's go back. I'm done. I'm returning you and I'm moving on. Like, yeah.
So the oh shit is you were like, I parent differently. Okay. I'm different. I'm
Yes,
not as
no.
tolerant. Okay.
No, my girls have never done that. That's just not a thing that I've ever well, I've seen it. I've seen parents struggle with kids on the floor and all of that, but my girls have never done that. And for me, I was just like, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
But it is,
Yeah.
you're right. It's just different parenting.
A different that's all it is. That's all it is. So and it's fair to be different in the way that you parent. So
Yeah, it 100% is. 100%
it
is.
works. I would say for myself, 2024 has been a total oh shit moment for me. And so the first was my mother calling me saying, hey, she was like, I think I'm feeling pain in my arm and this and that. Basically, she's like, I'm thinking I'm having a heart attack. And I'm like, okay, all right, And she says, and I'm going to drive myself to the thing. I'm like, hold up.
No.
You know what's going on. I'm like, hold up. If you're going to drive, grab me and we're going together. And it was, okay, so we're going to be in the ER for almost 24 hours. And what I
Oh,
realized in that moment, the oh shit moment for me was I'm at the phase of parenting the parents.
yes.
And so what it was anxiety, but it was her being stressed out. And so every time they took her blood pressure and they talked about blood pressure, they were like, no, your blood pressure is kind of high, but we would only be concerned if it was like 200 or something. I was like, that's a person dying. What? And she's like, oh my God, blood pressure goes up. And every
Oh,
time they would give her, say different things, where she's like, see, did you see the number before? I'm like, Mom, that's not what we're talking about. So I'm trying to keep her on point. And I'm like, oh
yeah.
shit, I am parenting the parent. I was like, I wanted to say, we got to close your mouth. Stop talking. Let me talk. Because that's not the question they're asking you. And mommy,
Yeah.
I'm telling you exactly what I'm seeing and why it's happening. No, did you see that? I was like this. Please get me out of this hospital. Because now I got my kids, and you all know I love my mom. Big Mama goes everywhere
Yeah.
and does everything with me.
Yes.
But I see that happening more and more, where I'm the one that's the practical one, and my
Mm-hmm.
mom's a free spirit, and I'm like, oh, we're at oh shit lane for real, huh?
Yeah.
And then like after that week, the next week, my son called me one morning. I was talking to my mom. He's like, Mom. I was like, yeah. And I hear the cop saying, Sir, are you okay? I was like, whoa, what's going on? He was like, I just crashed my car. The
Oh
craziest scenario I have ever seen in my life, which I'm sure the cops were asking him 15 times what really happened.
no.
Because the way he shot across 3 lanes of traffic out of the trees, I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. And it scared me
Oh,
so bad. Like I heard him say it and my heart did the drop. And I'm like, but he's talking to you. Why are you screaming? And I'm like, I don't know why I'm
yeah.
screaming. I was like, but it's that reality that life is precious.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And especially
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to your children and as your children become adults, you're like, you have no control of what they do, right?
Yeah.
So I'm parenting the parent, I'm parenting the adult children and the children. And that's
Yeah.
my oh shit moment. I'm in the middle of
Yes.
chaos.
You're the glue holding it all together.
I am holding it all together and I'm like, where is my trip? Stop
Yes.
playing with me.
You need it. You need
Because
it.
we are the glue. We are the
It's true.
glue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone,
Whether
no
we
matter
like
what,
it or not.
I'm like, he didn't call his dad. He called me.
Tell me about it.
I was like, sir, what? Uh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
told him, I was like, baby, you owe me. I'm glad you're alive, but you owe me.
The panic attack that you just gave me, you
Oh, it
definitely
was
owe me.
terrible. It was terrible.
Oh,
I was like, okay, I'm
yeah.
nearing 50. My body reacted. My body was like, nah, we too old for this.
Oh, oh man. So, what's next for you? How can people stay in touch with you?
Great question. So I think a great way for people to stay in touch with me, LinkedIn is always fabulous because that's the playground that I tend to play on right now. So you can find me with my name listed, so now you can give it to them. And if you want my thoughts and insights and just general thoughts as far as being a woman business owner, even in a career, a high level career, I have a wonderful newsletter called the Lux Queen Letter, and it's all about not just business, but your life, your relationships, travel, because I love travel,
Mhm.
and just
Mhm.
things that we need to think of. We can't be so broad and just only think of business or our careers. We need to open up to other things that fulfill us and keep us happy and sustainable.
Yes. And it's a great newsletter. I get it every week.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. This was great. I always love chatting with you.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in to Worthy and Unapologetic. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take the next step on your journey. Remember, you're worthy of success, happiness, and self care no matter where you are. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share it, and leave a review. Your support helps us reach more women ready to step into their power. Until next time, stay unapologetically you and keep prioritizing your well being. Your journey matters. See you in the next episode.